There we go. And here we go. And we'll see what that does. But we got a green light. I think we're set. And Terry's on here.
He is.
And she was so worried about Terry today. Call Terry, make sure we are rocking. And I don't need to call Terry. I'm rocking. We're set.
I just wanted to make sure.
She doesn't trust me.
No, I don't.
Cheer up, Buttercup. It'll be okay. Elf.
Can we get rid of that?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna slap the old one. No thanks. That's what it says there. All good here. We do that there. Elf, I have not blown you off with your. Damn, what do you want?
The trail cam?
No, he wanted me to write a review. I can't get the camera to record video, so I'm working on it. I will tell you this. This is that right there, the instruction book, and the instruction book I'll say is the first review is not all that good. So I'm struggling with the reviews. Takes great pictures, and I'm working it. But I have not forgotten about you. I've got some great pictures, and I have an unknown animal. I don't know what that damn thing is, but it's unknown. It might be a Sasquatch.
I thought it was a coon.
It's a small type of squirrel. I think it's the only squirrels that I know that come out at night are flying
You
squirrels.
don't have to write it, he says. Just let him know.
Well, I'll do it. Or flying squirrels, and that's what it looks like on that camera. I've seen them at night.
You've seen flying squirrels here?
No, I've not. But it's a mysterious little creature. I have squirrels right in their face is stuck in that camera because I put it on the back of the disc. And I've moved it in a couple of locations, and then all of a sudden you see these clear picture of deer in the field late at night, and then this little thing keeps popping up in front of it. So it's the only thing I can think it is. It's a flying squirrel, and I've seen them before, and they are out at night. Never mind. Go ahead, take it away.
For anybody that's interested, tonight at 7 o'clock, as soon as this show wraps up, on 60 Minutes, Eddie Gallagher is going to be on there.
CBS.
For speaking, as far as I know, for the first time, in his own words. He wasn't allowed to do a lot of talking. I think that Andrea did most of the talking during the trial for obvious reasons, but he's going to get up there and just come clean and tell exactly what happened. I'm interested in seeing it. I've got it recording, but I thought you guys might be interested in seeing it too.
He says posing with the corpse was a mistake.
Well, yeah. We all knew that.
That ain't the first time in history that shit's been done.
Yep.
I don't know what, well, I'm not going to say that. I've posed with enough dead deer, geese, and ducks, but I don't know.
Well, we don't know what's going on with this coronavirus. I do think that the media is starting to turn it all into a frenzy. But this is not the first time that Dawn and I have sort of felt the need to prep a little bit. Not ridiculous, not building underground bunkers or anything, but I did order my first thing of freeze-dried food today that's good for 20 years or 25 years or something like that. I'll be ordering another one about mid-month. Just because I can tell you right now, the first person that gets the coronavirus in my little area, I'll never be going to a grocery store again. So maybe we should start stockpiling liquor too.
You got coughed on the other day.
I did. My mother has got the flu. Terrible, terrible. My 85-year-old mother is so flippin' sick. I'm just worried to death about her. Like I've not been worried enough, but she's really not doing well. And then I talked to my sister today, and my sister has tested positive for the flu. So Dawn never likes going to Walmart. That's normally where I go to get my groceries. So we had to go get some shit a couple of days ago. And I said, where you want to go? And he said, to Food Lion. We're not going to Walmart. So we walk in the door. I get my antibacterial wipes and I'm hosing down my cart and my hands and all that shit. And I walked straight into a guy standing up there paying. And he turned his head away from the checkout lady and he coughed right in my face. Dawn saw this whole thing. He didn't cover his mouth or anything.
Yeah,
I was so damn paranoid. So I'm so paranoid that I have slept a lot the last couple of days. And I'm scared that I'm getting something. Makes me really paranoid. Yeah, the Mountain House food, I think that it is sold out. I forget, it was one that Dawn pulled up. It was really got high ratings. And they are already 8 weeks backlogged or something, I think. So, but I ordered it anyway. Hopefully we won't die in 8 weeks and we'll get our stuff.
Her mother's nursing home is in quarantine. It's in lockdown.
Yeah, they're not letting anybody in, and my mother's quarantined to her room. They're changing their linens and the quilts and everything and washing them in hot water every single day. And unfortunately, I'm sure they have a reason for this, but they're giving those old people a bath every single day, and I wouldn't do that. I did hospice care for a long time, and old people don't like to get cold. And anybody that's ever been in a nursing home, the bathrooms are humongous. You know, you can put 3 or 4 people in there, and it's cold. So I know my mother is raising hell, and I really don't blame her. I don't think that that's unnecessary, and I don't think that taking a bath every day is going to do a damn thing to keep from spreading the flu. But whatever, I'm going to call tomorrow and ask them if that can be changed. I don't like that at all. And
Are we off the flu?
well, you want to talk about the flu?
I got to go to Albany, and infantryman, if there's somebody up there with a fever, dude, I'm gonna smack that shit out of you. I ain't lying. That got me the other night. I don't think it's a complete paranoia here. That's what all the media is. It's all hype, and Trump and everybody else saying it's a lot of hyped up shit. And there's been a lot more people die from the regular flu this year than that.
Yeah.
Only to hear my mother talk about her mother dealing with the Spanish flu in the 19 whatever that was, that only killed 50 million fucking people. I don't know.
50
I
million?
think it was 50 million worldwide.
Oh my God.
And I just don't, I'm stocking up on some of that shit. And the beef and pork is fine. We got plenty of ducks and geese to eat around here. And Warrior, if we ate Warrior, he'd last us a bit.
He would last us years.
We're not
So
trying to be
big.
paranoid, but I tell you what.
And Lily, actually, Greg was talking to us the other day saying that some of his family does that too, orders the food. And I'm going to do that this week. I'm just going to place a small order, and I want to see what fruits and vegetables they bring me. I'm sort of particular with that. I want to know that they're getting me really fresh stuff, but everybody's going to that. They're ordering their food, and I guess you just pull up and you don't even have to get out of your car. You can just call or text or something, and they bring the food right to you. So I'm going to give that a shot, and if that works out, I've stepped in Walmart my last damn time, because I'm sort of paranoid like Dawn is, and I don't mean to throw off on Walmart. It just seems like there's so many people and some sort of unsavory looking people around here. I don't know where you guys are from, but man, if you want to see the cream of the crop in Dorchester County, just go to Walmart because they're all right there. Don hate to go.
Oh, you get that shit from touching stuff.
Yeah.
You get it from a canned thing, get it from a menu. I mean, there's no place safe.
Well, then it's ordering the food to come out and be delivered.
You gotta hose it down. Or squirt it with alcohol. You gotta do something. I ain't getting that shit. I got too much shit to do around here.
Well, Chuck, yeah, they're driving, and I'm glad because I had a nightmare getting to Tennessee. It took me 2 flipping days to get to Tennessee, and even when I finally got on the plane the second day and got to Charlotte, I got bumped off of that flight. So I wouldn't wish Don to be on a plane. So, but
I'm not getting on a plane. I'm not getting on a plane anyhow. I got invited to Key West, Florida last night. All expenses paid.
Oh, hell, I'll go.
No, it didn't include you. Suezo. And I said, there's not a chance in hell Diane's going to let me go to Key West with you for, it was titty week or some shit.
Sweezo would rather have me come than you.
Nobody wears clothes down there for the whole week. I'd fit right in. Whatever. I said, there's no way she's going to let me in. I'm not getting on an airplane. That's why I'm driving up there. So I'm going to mask Greg up, and we're just going to go for it. And
I can't wait. I've told them both, don't be in a hurry to come back. Go up there with infantryman, have a good time. If you decide to stay for a few more days, that's fine. He needs to get off of this farm. Going to Tennessee did me a world of good, and I got to get rid of him for a little bit. You're starting to bug me around here.
Well, see, I'm not a germaphobe, but I feel because I isolate myself down here and I get a headache passing my mailbox, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm absolutely content watching my geese and turkeys and all that shit right here, that I'm turning into an alute.
You're turning into Howard Hughes. That's what you're turning into.
An alute.
Is that what an alute is?
No, it's an Eskimo, but they died in droves. I'm turning into like an American Indian where I'm not exposed to all these crazy diseases the white man brings with him, and I'll be killed off. I'll be killed off, and what a tragedy that would be. What a loss for the world.
I want to know what that Dr. Bonner's soap is that Lily's talking about. She said use that Dr. Bonner's soap. I never heard of it. Anyway, we have a friend on here, a subscriber that is such a sweet man. His name is Jim Wells. And he was battling cancer for a long time, and that was in remission. And unfortunately for Jim, it's back. But he had been training to run in a marathon for a long time, and he has already, I think I'm getting this right, Jim, I think that he has already started chemo again. And he's actually still running in that marathon coming up. And he called and wanted permission to make a Extreme Seal Adventures t-shirt to wear during the marathon. And absolutely, he said, I'll send it to you for your approval. And I said, whatever you do is fine with us. Don't have to have an approval. So we're very honored that you'd wear that for us, Jim, and we wish you the best of luck.
Well, why don't he send, does he
I just have a scratch in my throat.
You got an email from him, an address? Why don't we send him a Fighting Solves Everything t-shirt? Those always go down good.
Well, Jim, you've got my email address because we've been writing back and forth. So you send me your address, and I will. You wanted to know about a video t-shirt, the video site t-shirt, and we don't have any of those. But if you'll send me your address, I can send you a pile of Extreme Seal Experience t-shirts. I do have some of those. So
we got the best ones. Fighting Solves Everything.
Yeah, that would be good. But anyway, we wish you the luck. We're just thinking about you every day. I'm so sorry that damn cancer's back, and anything we can do for you, you just holler. We'll do whatever we can do.
There you go. You want to talk about the cat using the toilet?
I think we touched on it before the internet went crazy as hell last week, but Sweet Kitty, my little cat, has started using the damn toilet. Now, I've seen her do it twice. Yesterday, she was back up there again. I kept telling Dawn, come here and look at him. So, I don't know how all that started or if he's just exceptionally smart and sees that that's where we go. But I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, so.
Well, there's a squirrel here. There's not a lot of squirrel territory here. It's further back down the property. But somehow some dumbass gray squirrel worked its way up and it feeds right underneath our living room windows every day. And you walk in there and both cats every morning at sunrise are glued.
And their tails are just going just like that.
Watching that squirrel. Well, I got up early this morning and Sweet Kitty wanted outside. And the next thing I looked, it was set right underneath that tree in an ambush position, waiting for that squirrel. And the next thing that came out was the male peacock and bit it right in the ass. blew his whole ambush, but there you go.
Hi, Tank and Sherry. Lily, I'm going to get me some of that soap. I'll get online when we get off of here and I'll order me some tonight. If that's the deal, I'll do it.
What's Trucker Dean on? Do I need any help in Albany? The only thing I need help in Albany with is infantryman. He's a talker. He's a talker. It just, I have to, whenever infantryman's around, if he's over here, I have to switch and go over here because this side of my head starts hurting. Other than that, I'm not going up there for a barroom brawl or some MMA shit, Dean.
Oh, Pep, so Butt Plug has just suspended his run for the presidency. Thank God. That's all I can say about that.
Somebody sent me a thing a couple of days ago. It was just, this is just how people pull at that. I don't have anything against the guy. But somebody sent me a thing, and they are ripping him up about his military experience. And he is posing with a weapon at the back of a chain link fence. He's wearing sunglasses, and I guess this is military days. And somebody sent that to me and was just all enraged. And it was like he's not wearing a helmet. His helmet is under his arm, if you look at it, because I'm good at it. And the weapon he's using, they're like, well, that's not a standard issue weapon. Well, it's got fold down sights. You don't know what you're talking about. The sights come up. And then it was like you could look in his glasses. That's how bad this is. They looked into his glasses and they saw a car, a parking lot, and white lines. And it had to have been staged. We're not the only flipping country in the world that has parking lots and cars and white lines painted on them. I don't know what people are doing to that guy, but whatever. If he's out, he's out.
Lily, I don't use that peppermint. Worse where you use the peppermint.
Canine can hear. I think Canine has a sonar hearing. Shit, yeah, that's him back there. He's got a belly full of liver tonight, so, and man shoes and all.
It's been cold as shit here. I don't mean to sound like a whiner because I read today on the internet where here in Maryland, this is the first February with absolutely no snowfall in 136 years. So we, I guess, have been very fortunate this winter. But we've not hardly been out of the house in 3 days. It's just cold as hell. The wind's blowing. The dogs don't even want to be out. He doesn't want to be out. And when Don's not outside most of the day, you know it's pretty cold. But we've just sort of been hibernating in here, so my dogs are not happy.
Well, we've had these mini ice ages before and climate change and all that stuff. If this is the first non-snowfall month in 136 years of recorded history, I'm not too awful worried about climate change. I can tell you that. And when you look back at the guys in the Civil War that wore those wool uniforms, what a lot of people don't know is uh, right up through World War II, soldiers fought in their dress uniforms. That was their uniform. That's what they wore for dress, and they wore it for battle. And those heavy gray and blue Civil War Confederate and Union uniforms, and how hot they talked about it being in these record temperatures back in 1863, 64, 65, these stifling summers. So it's just, I don't know, we're going through a phase. I'll have Al Gore over here for dinner anytime he wants to show up, but I'm not buying it right quite yet.
And also, Bosun Riley on here, you guys all know Bosun. He made a very generous donation down here, and we just appreciate it so much, John. Now, it's about time to start planting crops. Believe it or not, he'll be on that tractor before you know it.
Is he on here?
He might not be on tonight, but he'll be on. He'll be on at some point down here. Big time change. Big time change.
So much money. That guy used to borrow so much money from me.
Oh, infantryman, thank you for the offer, honey, but if he gets on a pair of skis, I'll kill you and him. Hell no. He ain't getting on skis. He said he would like to get some good video of you and Greg skiing. That'd be lawsuit material right there.
I tell you, I curb my shit around here because of what I have to do. And we had a good friend of ours, my age, my era, big old that, and snapped that leg of his skiing. I'm not going to ski anymore. I don't skydive anymore. I don't dive anymore. I just shoot things, and I farm that. I get too much responsibility for that. We'll hang out as much as we can. Even the coronavirus has scaled down my pursuit of these phonies. We're going to get up there, do that, and we're going to get back. I don't know. Buddy had asked on here, what's one thing that fell into place for us? And he asked that question, fell into place. He asked it early on, and I started thinking about that. And,
what do you mean, one thing that fell into place? What, in our lives?
Yeah. Just all of it. I mean, really all of it. But I think the real estate thing really did as well. We made we studied very hard. We made some really smart moves, and we weren't raking it in. These were homes, and we were looking to get back into it up here. But talking to the agent that sold us this, she's a very savvy gal, this property up here. This is not Norfolk. Norfolk was a blue-collar town. It had all the military in it. They all got paychecks. It was all blue-collar. It's not quite that way up here. And there it was, and we bought, and we never spent more than $90,000 on a house.
That's right.
And it would always make the rent and then more. And those houses appreciated. We weren't out getting anything crazy. We did get a duplex and an apartment, and that was the same thing, just a little bit on steroids down there. But that was one of the biggest things we tackled that really came out well. We got rid of them at the right time. We bought them at the right time. We did not get wrapped up in the market. And now it's the same thing with this. We were eating yesterday, I think, and there were two people in the restaurant talking about their 401ks, and the old guy saying he didn't have enough money to retire, and the gal on that, and he was like, just don't even look at it. Don't even look at your 401k, because this tank from coronavirus, and I would tell you a little bit of the opposite there. You better pay attention to that shit. So, I don't know.
Where was that? At the pizza place?
Yeah. Did you hear that conversation going on?
Mm-mm.
The waitress and that guy when we walked in.
Yeah, we
You got to pay attention to everything. That's where the term comes, mind your own business. It's not a negative term, it's mind your own business. Your business is your 401k, your real estate, and whatever is going on in your life. And if you don't mind your own business and pay very careful attention to that shit, nobody else is. So, thanks for the question, buddy.
Well, I had mentioned on here a couple of weeks ago that we were sort of looking at the real estate, maybe just a little something, to sink our teeth into. But then Don was telling me about sharing a real estate agent that said, guys, this is not Norfolk. And I started thinking about it, and that makes perfect sense because it's really not. I mean, when you are living near all the biggest military bases that you've got in the world, so many transient people, everybody has to have a place to live. And so real estate's easy in Virginia Beach and Norfolk. It's easy. But it's not here. And properties are not cheap here. And so I've been looking for months, probably about 6 months. I've really been looking. And with the prices of things here on the Eastern Shore, it'd take years before you made any money. It certainly wouldn't be anything to buy a house and flip it, because number one, we did a whole lot of the work by ourselves. We were younger then, we could do it, and there ain't no way we're doing that shit now. So
You got to get a positive cash flow in that. We would do it. There was a lot of SEALs that got into that real estate market, and they were like, yeah. It's going to take you a few years to get a positive cash flow, and we're like, fuck, we're doing it right now. What the fuck are you on about? Why would you buy something that expensive that doesn't make money? That's not the way to go. And here's not the way. The job market's not the same. There's not a lot of industry and businesses here. People have to drive quite a ways to get something that's a decent paying job. They just don't drive 7-8 miles and climb aboard an aircraft carrier. And so your real estate market in California, if you get a really good deal and flip that property, all the better for you. But you're not going to be renting anything there. Fix it up, really rent it, and be able to continue to do that. And we got into real estate pretty hot and heavy. We did pretty doggone good at it.
We had a lot of energy too back then. A lot of energy. And that's all we were doing. That is all we were doing. And so when that's just your full-time job, we would take our little dog, Roxy, and we would drive in the car just about every day, at least 5 times a week, in neighborhoods that we knew were up and coming, where things were still affordable. And we would just drive around and write down addresses and stuff like that, and did good. But no more. Now we got a lot of stuff going on.
I don't have time to pay them and fix them. We looked for the eyesore of the neighborhood, and we'd always find it. Within 30 days, we would find that one property that would work out. And shit, we almost owned entire streets up there at one point.
Donko, I'm glad you like my peace sign earrings. I'm an old hippie. You didn't even notice them. And my necklace.
There you go.
I would love to invest in some CBD products. I'll tell you right now, Lily, I've been talking about that to Dawn for a long time, and I still don't know that I don't want to do it.
It's like that tulip thing that happened, the big tulip crash. You gotta be
Tulip.
tulips. That's the first big meltdown of any kind of market. The tulips from what was it?
Holland?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, I don't remember that.
Well, you wouldn't, because that was done a couple hundred years ago or some shit like that. But no, I've got to get into J.G. Wentworth. If I hear another fucking J.G. Wentworth commercial, I'm going to kill myself.
So if you want cash right now, is that it?
Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now. I can't get it out. Now they got a new one. He's driving the bus, but J.G. Wentworth is all over that stuff. You know, took him a little bit of investment. That's what you do. And you invest in a little something, but J.G. Wentworth is going to give you a handful of money for a percentage of yours, and then he's going to take that through the cycles. It's a really smart move. Loaning money's a real smart move. And you got to find a little something out there. And, we've certainly dabbled in a bunch of it, but not J.G. Wentworth. I didn't have dudes dressed up like Vikings on a bus singing that shit. I wish I would have thought of it, but he beat me to it, I guess.
Military is banned from taking any CBD products, and families are strongly recommended to not have CBD in their houses.
What would I see that guy claim? Oh, the keto diet. I don't know if you guys saw the guy claiming that the keto diet caused him to have a false breathalyzer test.
The what did?
That he popped positive on a breathalyzer test from the police for driving drunk, and said it's the keto diet. And then the keto people came right out and went right straight down his throat. You know, dudes will do anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, about the guys getting busted for the CBD stuff, because it is legal here in Maryland. It's legal, and even the THC, CBD stuff. The THC, medicinal marijuana, all of that stuff is here. I mean, you have to get it prescribed to you, but they're not busting our pot stores because it's legal.
Maybe I should give you guys a history lesson on the urinalysis test. I don't know that I've done that on here before. I'm going to.
Let me just ask Canine Lover a question. Canine Lover, why were you giving your golden retriever CBD oil? Was it to calm him down, or was it because of his joints, or what it was? Because I'm just getting ready to order some for Coda, because we can't hardly stand him being in the car. He's just an absolute freaking nut. He's to the point where I don't want to take him anymore. And a friend of mine got some of the CBD cookies for dogs, and her golden doodle just gets crazier than hell, and the dishwasher starts anything, and she gave that dog that CBD cookie, and it just chilled him right out. So
here's the moron now. Damn, what are you on about? Yeah, Chuck. It's Chuck. Yeah, well, at my time, now Chuck's time it was 5 for 10. My time it was 20 for 25. And that is how you, and dudes earned a living doing that. It was called a slush fund on the ship. And that was insane. When you pulled in port, you could borrow $20 off one of the slush guys, and it was rampant. And then there were the go-to guys to do it. And you had to give them $25 back, 20 for 25. And we got paid in cash on the ship. And you would go up to the dispersing officer, and they'd get your shit down, and they would pay you in cash on that ship. And the guy right next to him was the slush fund dude with a book, collecting his money from your port call in the Philippines, 20 for 25, and the world was a better place. But that's how banks operate, and that's it. You can never get into a thing like that, loaning money. It's not a bad idea.
oh, they're saying that the CBD stuff's working miracles for him. It's Blue Healer has epilepsy. It snaps him right out of it. I'm going to get me some for Coda, and we'll see how he does next time we go to town.
Okay, here you go. Because I get this shit all the time. I try to calm people down. When we joined the Navy, me and Diane, there were no urinalysis tests, and through Vietnam and Chuck's time, and the military was quite a little party place, but it was not a drug den. by any stretch of the imagination. There was an incident on an aircraft carrier where a jet crashed and it killed a number of guys on deck, including the pilots. And when they autopsied them, they all came up positive for THC. Were they out there smoking that and flying the planes and doing all that? No, they were not. But they all came up, and that is when the Navy said enough is enough. Zero tolerance to all this. And they started the urinalysis program in the Navy. Navy was the first guys to do it, and they fucked it up, wrongly accused people, fucked it up, rightly accused people, fucked it up. And to get that to where when you pissed in that bottle, that there was no disputing it. You couldn't claim poppy seeds anymore from eating at McDonald's. You couldn't claim I picked up a hitchhiker and he was smoking dope. You couldn't claim, I was there for all that shit. I went to a rock concert and people were claiming it because that's what guys would do. Oh, you're busted. You're busted. You're in big trouble. Oh, I was at a rock concert and the guy next to me was smoking a joint. And they'd go back to the drawing board. And they perfected that shit, and they perfected it to a fail-safe, extreme level that there is no way that this is just a casual type of thing. And we went through that era, and then I administered I don't know how many urinalysis tests over the years, and they are fail-safe and foolproof. So when you apply for a job at Home Depot and they want you to piss in the bottle, or now they're taking hair samples and
mouth
wipes,
swabs,
that all came from a wreck on a aircraft carrier, a crash that killed a number of guys, and that's it. And is there problems in the military still? About that much, but they're there. And I just did a podcast the other day, a big one, and me and Diane are going to go do one on Wednesday with a local radio show. The chaplain that runs that thing demanded that Diane show up. He's a Vietnam vet. He's a hurricane. He flew prop planes in Vietnam, but he was one of those hurricane dudes. Flew them through hurricanes. How nutty is that?
chasing hurricanes.
He was right in the eye of those things, getting the weather readings. Crazy. And he demanded that Diane come on this, so we got to go up there Wednesday. But no, it's not that problem. But I talked about that on this podcast. I was asked those questions. Is there? Yeah. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. It's not any worse than it has been, or ever since Vietnam, before they started those piss tests, because these fucking guys are so fucking tired. They are tired. And now they signed a deal with the Taliban. I'll get to that. But Eddie's on here. Eddie's one of those guys that is tired. And all the boys are. 19 years of nonstop, pointy end of the spear. Send them over. We want you to do the most extraordinarily dangerous, thankless, dirty jobs the military has. And but you shouldn't kill them like that. We only want you to kill them the way we, like that. And so I watched this peace deal with the Taliban. I was there in Afghanistan right after we absolutely crushed them. Crushed them for the first time in history. From the British to Alexander the Great to the Russians to us. We had them and we let them go. And the one thing I'll remember about Kabul was how many kites were flying in that city, to the point where you ask somebody, what is up with all these kites? Kids' kites all over the city.
What was it?
The Taliban wouldn't let them fly them. You couldn't fly kites. You couldn't eat ice cream. You couldn't show anything above your ankle. You had to be fully clothed. And those dudes are about to clean house on some really, really decent people. They are going to get every one of them that ever went against them, and they are going to execute them. And those women are in a terrible spot over there, from having a little bit of freedom to going back to having none.
What the deal about the ice cream?
They wouldn't let them have ice cream. Nothing. You couldn't fly a kite. No ice cream. No any Western thing. Destroying their own ruins from thousands and thousands of years. They are absolute fanatics, and we signed a peace deal with them, and that's no fault of Trump's. We had to get out of this war somehow, but we are sending them back into the Stone Age with those guys, and I wouldn't hold my breath that they would do anything. They are a ruthless, ruthless bunch of vatos, and they are going. I remember my time with the Northern Alliance guys, the Mujahideen, on the streets in Kabul at the compound we were at. They would look out, and one of them would see a guy on the street, and those guys would start chattering, and they'd bust through those gates with those AK-47s and wrap that dude up and drag him back in the compound, and God knows what happened to him after that. He was Taliban, and Taliban know the same thing about those guys. They are going to know every police officer that went against them, every Northern Alliance, every Mujahideen. We have basically, and good luck to the government over there, we have turned that back over to the most dark, black thing that's ever kind of stained that country before.
I know, and I feel bad for that, but I want the boys home. I want everybody home. Just get them home. I don't mean to sound like I don't care about the rest of the world, but I sort of don't at this point. I just want everybody to come home.
Well, I wish it had been a little different. I wish the Afghani government, I don't know where it is, perhaps Chuck can explain a little bit of that, but how the North Vietnamese were so superior in strength to the South Vietnamese. They would just drop their weapons and they would just run away. That the Afghan government, after all the millions and millions and millions of dollars in training, could not get a grip on that country without us. And I think it was just total corruption. And now they're going to pay for that. They're going to pay for brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. You guys ever go back, and I don't think a lot of people realize that the Olympic Stadium in Kabul, where they would hold all the mass executions and just shoot people and burn them and hang them and beat women, and the things those fucking Taliban did over there. And we had them. We had them by the short and curlies when nobody else ever did, and we just kind of let it go.
So distracting.
I'm afraid for them because I really liked the Afghanis. I really, really did. A lot of good tradition over there, really. A lot of good, simple people that just want to. Those little girls, you ain't going to school anymore. You in a lot of trouble. Ruthless. And any teachers that did that, there's just no telling the impact that's going to have on the people there and who went against the grain of the absolute insane Taliban rule. They got memories. Paybacks are a bitch. Okay, I'm off.
We're gonna go in there and eat us some tuna tartar.
And another thing. I love tuna tartar.
That's what we're having while we watch Eddie Gallagher.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. And we'll see. But that's where it's getting tired from. I did a big podcast. I've never opened up like that. I'll put a link on this. I wasn't product or poke to it, but it got into drug abuse and mischief that the SEALs are into. It got into, which really struck a note with me, SEALs writing books, SEALs doing things like that, SEALs speaking out. And I really lit into guys that did it. When you hear, and I got into drug abuse, no drug abuse in there, there's drugs that go on because they're young, aggressive, they are sleek stallions, they're experimental guys, and they're fucking bored. And they're fucking tired. Of course there's going to be some fucking drug usage. Alcohol abuse, yes, of course they are. They've fucking been killing motherfuckers steady for 19 fucking years. There's going to be all that, and there's going to be mischief, and the guys are going to get in trouble. The one that struck the note with me the most, and I've gone off on this before, is about the guys getting down on SEALs for writing books and shit like that. I'm going to put a link up here to my response to that bullshit. And it ain't nothing different than the actual SEALs writing books. It's the SEALs that are chastising SEALs for writing books that got that attention going. Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm the quiet professional. But I'm going to chastise you guys on social media. And I'm going to get in that fight. That's all it is. Oh, SEALs writing books and the SEALs doing this. And it only comes from SEALs that don't have a story to tell, or couldn't tell one, or get a eloquent word out edgewise. They're not contacted by the media to comment on these news stories or Eddie Gallagher, but they will sit there with a bag of Doritos in their lap and a six-pack of Budweiser and type on Facebook about how bad you are for doing that, breaking the silent professional rule when you're doing it right fucking now, chastising us. Yeah. The only reason anybody knows anything negative about any of this book shit or anything else that SEALs are doing was from the SEALs that didn't do it, but will chastise you for doing it.
Bosun, I know you just got on here. I was thanking you before you got on here, I think, about the nice donation that you made. It's very, very appreciated. And Michael, if you're on here, thank you for the books. I got the 2 books that your wife wrote, and she's just very interesting, and I appreciate that. I will read them cover to cover. So
Captain Mike, where's my fish scalers? You're supposed to send me some fish scalers.
Shit. You'll lose them. They'll be on the back of the...
I feel like it like that.
Back on the golf cart. That's where everything else is. Oh, K9 lover. The grandkids are there. Lock everything up.
It's not turning on each other. Go ahead. You did it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with everybody doing the videos and sending them in, but I really liked those, and I think everybody else did. We just really had an outpouring of, oh, that shit's so funny, that shit's so good. We could put a face with the name, so there's a few people on here that did it and is very good at it, and if you need help, I think all you have to do is just ask. But we'd love to see it. We'd love to see some of your videos, your kids, your grandkids, your dogs, wherever you work, if you're retired, whatever. But that was a nice change, and it gave us something fun to look at as well. So anybody that's interested, it can be a 4-minute video or a 14-minute video. It doesn't matter, but we sure would appreciate if some of you guys did that again, because it was entertaining.
I thought we were going to have to put Elf on PBS.
Oh, no, he's good.
It's like a mini-series.
He's good. Yeah, Setting Elf on here would be happy to help you guys do some of that.
Just send them to me. I'll take good care of them. Terry will help. We'll all help. Just put together a little something silly. I think some of those videos from Hosenfeld and Elf intimidate people a little bit, and they do not have to. Some of the first things I put together, it's just an introduction video. Everybody gets it. Shoot it on a cell phone. I'll edit it, cut it.
Did Chuck do a video?
No.
Chuck! Damn it, Chuck. We need a video, and we need to see your pup.
Chuck is running around with a South Vietnamese flag draped around him video-wise. He's retreating. Oh, I'll tell you. What time are we looking at here?
Rachel, get him
I
to do
got a
a
haircut.
video. Get him to do a video, Rachel.
That's right. I got a haircut because I was on here and Telfo and said, Rachel said I need a haircut, and it intimidated. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I'm quite taken by Rachel.
He did need a haircut, Rachel, so if you had any influence, I was happy to come home from Tennessee and see a good haircut.
We don't want to see anything from Telfo and we want to see something from Rachel. Now there's something to look at right there. Old model thing. So, yeah, get her to do it.
What book you got?
Here's the book right there.
Dogfight.
This is the last book my father was reading before he died, and he left it here. He never finished it. He left. And he left it here. And this is nothing. My dad read nothing except books about fighter pilots. World War One, II, Vietnam, Korea, everything. That's what he read. That's all he read. And I have this book here from that. So I got to kind of conclude that thing. I absolutely despise those SEALs that would go off on other SEALs for this whole silent professional bullshit. I had a Navy corpsman call me on my phone and right here and was going off on me about SEALs writing books. What in the fuck is your guys' problem writing these books? And there's never been anything done that's thrown out a whole bunch of classified stuff or shit anybody can't get any flipping where else. Don't get me started. And while he was going off on me, I Googled Navy corpsman books. And that fucking shit went whoosh. And so when you look at fighter pilots, Navy corpsmen, Marines, and you search the amount of books that are written, and you would chastise SEALs for that, I don't know why. You have a story. You have a story to tell, and it might be a story of interest. And those that don't, whatever. But you can't chastise a guy for trying to better his life and do it the easiest way he can. As I said this, SEALs will try to do the hardest thing the easiest way they can. And if that's writing a book, so anybody, you want to read some fighter pilot books, there are thousands of them. Navy corpsman books, Marine books, and compared to SEAL books, there's a smattering of them. So I really went off on that podcast because that is some type of stupid SEAL code of silence shit, because they don't have a story to tell, and they couldn't tell it if they did. So it's easy for them to sit there with that bag of Doritos and critique you for doing it. No love lost for any of those guys that do that. They're the ones that got these silly things going on Duffel blog of SEAL writing courses and stuff because they've been so vocal about it. Oh, another book, another book. You're the fucking guys that did that. You're writing books without writing them because you're so fucking vocal and you suck.
Yep, it's on CBS at 7 o'clock very shortly. What time does that say? I don't have my glasses on. And it's 60 minutes at 7 o'clock. So you guys better get off here if you're going to go see Eddie. And we're going to eat our sushi.
But I have never written a book.
No.
But people have asked me to. But I didn't. I feel
they want to see Warrior. He's sound asleep, K9 lover.
You want to get up here and say hello? Oh, he's always willing to do that. Come on, get up here. Get it up here. Get up here. Get up here.
He's too lazy, Dad.
Oh, no, he's not. There he comes.
There he comes.
Oh, he's very tired.
Go down.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. We're out of here.
Sorry for the meltdown. It's been a little weird. weird around here today.
Manchu says your book would be a porno. Oh my God.
Yes, it would.
Let's hope not.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Yes, Michonne's the good girl. She's the one that's always good.
And I get to see this bit. We've been over this a little bit before about Eddie Gallagher. Eddie's tired. And none of those other guys were. Eddie was tired. And whatever mistakes he made came from this government keeping us in a conflict for 19 fucking years.
That's it. All right, guys. Say bye, Coda. Say goodbye to everybody, Coda Bear.
Are we done, girl?
We're done. Bye, guys. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll see you. Night, buddy.
Take good care of him, infantryman. Keep him for a week if you can. Bye.